Today we're diving deep into one of the darkest chapters in human history. We're talking about execution methods so horrifying that even horror movies struggle to capture them. Yes, these punishments were so brutal that just hearing about them can send chills down your spine. Join me as we explore some of the cruelest punishments ever recorded in world history. 1. Death by elephant crushing. An execution method widely used in Asian countries such as India, Vietnam, and Thailand. You might wonder, why elephants? During the feudal era, elephants were not only massive warriors on the battlefield, they were also used as terrifying instruments of execution. The elephant handler would command the animal to crush the prisoner's body under its massive feet. But that wasn't even the worst part. In many cases, to make the victim's death slower and even more painful, the elephant would first be ordered to wrap the prisoner with its trunk. Then it would lift them high into the air and slam them onto the ground several times, before finally crushing them. This punishment was usually reserved for the most serious criminals, those accused of plotting against the king or committing acts of treason. 2. Lingchi. One of the most barbaric punishments in history. And I'm not exaggerating, this was truly the stuff of nightmares. Lingchi originated in China, became widespread around the year 900, and was officially abolished only in 1905, meaning this method existed for more than 1,000 years. In Chinese, the term lingchi means slow slicing, and the name alone tells you almost everything you need to know. With this punishment, the prisoner's body would be cut piece by piece using a sharp blade. Each cut was carried out to the rhythm of drums, turning the execution into a process that was not only agonizing, but stretched out second by second, minute by minute. The most disturbing part was this. The prisoner was deliberately kept alive throughout the process. Ancient executioners were trained to cut with precision, avoiding major arteries to ensure the condemned person remained conscious and could feel every single slice. The process could last for hours. Historical records claim that, in one of the most brutal cases, a prisoner endured more than 3,000 cuts before finally dying. This punishment was reserved only for the worst crimes: treason, plotting to kill one's master, or showing extreme disrespect toward one's parents. 3. Boiling in oil. Boiling in oil was an execution method found everywhere from East Asia to Europe. Imagine this: a massive cauldron of oil, violently boiling at a temperature almost impossible to comprehend. The prisoner would be thrown inside, and death would come within seconds. But they would be seconds filled with horrifying screams and violent struggling. But history shows us an even crueler version of this punishment. Instead of throwing the victim into boiling oil, the prisoner would be placed into the cauldron while the oil was still cold. Then the fire would slowly be lit beneath it. During the reign of Henry VIII in England, there are records of prisoners taking up to 2 hours to die this way. Imagine those endless moments, minute after minute, your body slowly cooking alive, every cell burning, the pain becoming unbearable. 4. Death by quartering, a brutal punishment used in both Asia and Europe. The method itself was horrifyingly simple. The prisoner's 4 limbs would be tied to 4 separate ropes. The other end of each rope would then be attached to a horse. And then, the 4 horses would be driven in 4 different directions. The victim's body would be stretched tighter and tighter, like a cable being pulled to its limit, until finally, it tore apart piece by piece. But wait, there was something even more terrifying. Because the head was usually left untouched and not tied to a horse, the victim could remain alive for a short time, even after losing all 4 limbs. Death would come slowly, through blood loss, and even that wasn't enough for some people. Later, an even crueler version was created, known as 5 horses quartering, where a 5th rope was tied around the prisoner's neck. 5. Execution by rats. Finally, we have execution by rats, a method so horrifying that it was even recreated in the famous TV series Game of Thrones. Can you even imagine what this would be like? Hungry rats would be trapped inside a metal bucket or cage. The open side of the container would then be placed directly against the prisoner's bare stomach or chest. Next, the executioner would heat the outside of the container with fire. As the temperature inside rose higher and higher, the terrified rats, trapped with no escape, would desperately search for a way out. And there was only one way. They would begin tearing through the prisoner's body, bit by bit, piece by piece. They wouldn't stop until they had clawed and chewed their way to freedom. This method was also commonly used as a form of torture, not always to execute someone, but to force confessions from prisoners. In just 15 minutes, the prisoner would be willing to say absolutely anything to make it stop. These were some of the cruelest punishments ever recorded in human history. Thankfully, methods like these now exist only in history books and movies, a reminder of why human rights and modern justice matter so much today. If you enjoy videos about history like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.